Hi everyone! Welcome back to the next episode of my Japanese learning journey. If you watched my previous week 1 video of how I started learning Japanese from zero, you'd see how it was a really simple, linear process and I was very focused and productive. This week? Not so much. This week I ran into a bit of a problem where I felt really stuck again and even slightly overwhelmed at some points. But to see how I got there, let's start back from where we left off last time. Of course, time and numbers have to be the first thing. I hate time in every single language, oh my god. So I had 2 logical steps to take from there. 1, use Genki and go through the numbers in time, and 2, use Tofugu and learn katakana. I was clearly not excited at all about the numbers section, so I went back to Tofugu. And I started going through the katakana mnemonics and doing the same practice as before that I did for hiragana. But that's the thing, it was exactly the same process. I really didn't want to just repeat last week all over again for not that much more gain, you know? Like, katakana it represents the same sounds as hiragana, so that's what I mean by not that much more gain. And it was super fun last week because it got me from not knowing how to read or write at all to being able to with hiragana. So I decided to shop around and dabble with various other online resources. The first one I got curious about was Native Shark. It was super intuitive to get started, to get around the site. The UI was beautiful. The pacing was very comfortable through the lessons. The audio and written content was fantastic, I thought, because it had like some humor and story vignettes sprinkled about. I really enjoyed Native Shark. I liked how the audios were not slowed. They were the actual speed and pronunciation of how you'd hear it spoken naturally, like in the wild, you know?
英語大丈夫ですか?
英語大丈夫ですか?
I also really appreciated the useful phrases and sentences that were not only level appropriate, but also directly built off of the hiragana and kanji and words that the lesson had just taught you. It was just how useful these phrases and things were and how comprehensive that I wanted to really write them down and like save them, you know? And despite hearing from everywhere that writing is not important, that you don't have to learn how to do it, it was something I was honestly really looking forward to. Mainly because in Chinese, like, I love the way that Chinese characters look. It's so calming and fun to actually be able to write them and so rewarding to me. But the issue with Chinese is that it's essentially all kanji. Like, if you know a word, you know how to say it, but you don't remember what the character looks like, you can't just, you literally can't write it. You can substitute it with pinyin, but that just looks so ugly. And that's why I was so excited about Japanese, because even if you don't remember the kanji, you can just write the hiragana. And you can still write exactly what you want to say, and it works, you know? But yeah, so Native Shark ultimately was such a gem that I thought maybe I was doing something right exploring other platforms. So I checked out a few language apps too, and this is where the problems started and where things started to slowly go a bit downhill for me. I dabbled in like Duolingo, Bunpo, Lingodeer, Ling, and some others, but they were all the same and pretty much all introduced you to the language in exactly the same way, like teaching you some hiragana, katakana first by doing like matching games or like hiragana to romaji, just, you know, the same things, and then teaching you the words for I, you, he, she, whatever, man, woman, girl, boy, etc. It was pretty boring to me and not really how I wanted to go about spending my time at the time. And I mean, Although, truth be told, I did enjoy some of the app's features, like the nice UI and experience using Bunpo. It was very clean and pretty. And I really liked also the chatbot in Ling, which was really similar to something that Native Shark had as well. But I basically still got to a point where I didn't want to open any of them ever. And so for a few days, even though I had the desire to study some Japanese, not only was there a bit of an overwhelming number of resources, lol, but I would look at each resource and kind of be turned off by it. Then, one day I thought to myself, okay, one of the main reasons why I don't want to use some of these apps is because not only do I not really know what are they going to teach me or if they're going to, teach me anything at all, but I don't actually even trust that they are enough to learn the language well by themselves. They need to be a companion to a main resource. And that main resource for me has to be the Genki textbook. Because this book, I bought it because it has such great reviews, it's highly recommended all around, and it's used in school curriculum. So it's clearly a very trusted resource that has been proven by its students to be successful. And so all I have to do is just sit down, trust the process, and do the less fun stuff because it's still important, very important, and good for me too. And so I finally overcame my silly resistance towards numbers and started to just go through it all. So I started out by just learning the numbers, counting them on my fingers, getting their pronunciation right in, different contexts. Went through some exercises using the numbers like telling time, talking about age, and sharing phone numbers. And it honestly wasn't bad at all. 私の電話番号は888の447の5594
By the gods, you've done it. Somehow you found your way here to me. I offer you my congratulations and my respect.
And after the numbers bit, I got to the really fun part where I got to actually learn and practice grammar structures, write and construct my own sentences, describe people, ask and answer different questions, and finally, even built up to introducing myself. こんにちは、はじめまして、Valeria です。ブラウン大学の元学生です。専攻はコンピューターです。43歳です。43歳です。よろしくお願いします。日本語を勉強してワクワクします。So I guess the moral of my story here is do the hard things, even if they're not so fun or you're not that excited about them, and you will be rewarded. Thank you so much, guys, for following my journey. I really appreciate all of you who have watched these videos and comment and tell me all of the different advice and uplifting things and corrections and whatnot. I really appreciate all of you. But yeah, if you like this video, please leave it a like and please subscribe to keep following my journey. Thank you. Arigato.